That's good.
Money.
Yeah.
All right, so College Beats, podcast number 4. Sitting here with Li and Young Official from YNO.
Yeet.
Recently did a project together. Good opportunity to just kind of hear a little bit about their background, their relationship, etc. Want to give me a little bit of a introduction for you guys?
Oh, yeah,
Word.
always. Go ahead, brother, man.
Well, I'm Phonz, a.k.a. Phonz.
It's the boy F.A.M.E., you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I don't even think we've met since today, right? So you guys have a pretty big team behind you, right?
No.
I
Me
mean,
and Phonz. No.
it's
No.
been a lot of
No.
no to answer the question, but to embark on what he said, it's fluctuated through the years. We've gone through phases. Working on almost 10 years.
Okay.
In 2019, it'll be 10 years.
2019 will be a decade in.
So, of course, we done, had gained a hell of a team and lost some members, but, went on a hiatus, went on a, but it's just us, man. We just going to keep it at that until somebody step up. And,
So what was that project? Because I know, originally you guys did a lot of private events and stuff, like in Clifton.
Yeah.
The Treehouse series, right?
yeah.
So because that's the first thing I like to do is kind of hear the background of how you got to this point. Because that's what's more important to me, right? This isn't just a hip hop exclusive podcast. I want the artists to not only be able to talk about themselves, their music, but also be able to talk about themselves out of the context of the music business. So, what was that journey there?
Treehouse parties?
Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. Okay. We all know about gentrification. We're products of that. We're from the inner city, both of us. But long story short, we ended up going to schools out in the
Sycamore,
suburban
right?
area.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to Sycamore High. Yeah, we both went to Sycamore High School. And pretty much, our approach to the whole industry locally had to be unique out the jump, and that's why it's even taken this long to really come into fruition. We knew that we had a special crowd, a different crowd, a really diverse crowd. Our music is really diverse, and so we were out of the loop being out the way, you know what I mean? We're not getting called to do shows at celebrities and all of the popping stuff in the inner city at first. So our mindset with stepping into the industry was to be the guys who threw parties, be the guys who had the connections to all the parties. So therefore, we kind of, we were promoters, official promoters. We worked with 4 promotional companies. We were subcontracted as, the Treehouse, and YNO that was the music side, the artists, us as artists, So that was separate. As YNO could be performing live, but Treehouse could have, been an overhead on the
Two
event.
separate brands, then, would you say?
Well, it's Treehouse is the sub brand, and that hasn't
Our Taylor game.
Yeah, and we're not all the way done with that. You guys haven't seen too much about the Treehouse.
And that's one of the big reasons why I had you guys in, because I think one of the pieces that we're missing working with different bars and things are that core of promoters.
Yeah.
And whether or not you guys want to do it yourself, but I'm pretty sure you have a lot of
Got the
experience
knowledge,
to speak from. So obviously you worked with different companies and now you're trying to do it yourself.
Right.
So now that, you guys are trying to come out, on your own and create, the pressure, tell us a little bit about
pressure.
And you know what? The thing about it is that pressure and the Treehouse parties, the ones that we got really big off of in Clifton, they stem from the same situation. Those parties were actually parties thrown for rent money. Somehow 4 people in a household that all lived there lost their jobs within 2 weeks.
Mind your word, everybody's between the age of 18 and 21 at the time.
You feel me? So we bro, what do we do? We gotta pay rent. What do we do? So let's throw a party. And that's the pressure. That's the pressure. But you find a way through the pressure. And so that pressure was really brought to us, like, you know, kind of became a priority because we had just put out Good Company. T-Wiz had retired. Q-Eazy had went over to BTS. And JB was actually still in Chicago at the time. So really, it was just me and Phonz. It was just us representing YNO.
It's kind of like what you call, like we were in limbo.
Yeah,
like, you know,
no
what's
team,
the next move?
It was nothing. I'm telling you right now, we was linking up at the studio with these beats on this album. And we was just freestyle. Like, we would just put the beat on, drink a couple beers, smoke a couple blunts, and we would just literally vibe out and freestyle. Like, 85% of this album was freestyle. And it's not like, oh, we need more extra credit for that. It's just like, this is a vibe. Like,
it's a vibe.
And it came from being under extreme pressure. And that's why we call it that pressure. And like, look, people look at the cover and they're like, I don't understand with the correlation. I see the diamond in there with the correlation, but this is a picture frame that we sitting on.
Sure.
We sitting on the picture, and that's the picture, the goal, all the goals that come with pressure. Your end picture, your end goal, the picture where you want to be, being on the beach, that's where you want to retire at. A lot of pressure comes with that.
Know that
a lot of pressure.
Yeah, like, and piggybacking off what he's saying, know that, like, you know, when I say that, like, you know, our music is special, our artistry is special as us being rappers per se, you know, there's always double, triple entendres. It's and really, like, we during that turmoil, during that limbo period, it was, you know, really we had to readdress if we were going to do this, step back into it, and really, you know, as adults, as grown ass men, go into this as a business, knowing that it's business primarily. We got to really, like, revisit our sound. You know what I mean? What sets us apart? What's relatable? What's personable with people?
Yeah.
You know, we got to think about, you know, demographics.
And to kind of, you know, bring us up to the present, you know, where kind of LI comes into this. What does, you know, that pressure mean to you? You know, as far as being on their album or, you know, just helping them out in general.
And LI has he has a good perspective. So yeah, I'm ready to hear this too, brother.
What is that pressure? What is that pressure?
Yeah,
mean to
he's
you?
not a part of it.
To be honest with you, the album was in secret when I heard about it. I was like, man, they got a whole project about to drop. I damn near didn't know, and I was working with F.A.M.E for a whole project for a year.
Yeah.
Like, so that just goes to show you how important that project was to them, and the circle they kept, the people they worked with. That's one thing I do enjoy about the record. It wasn't like records I was already heard about, vocals, hooks, ideas. This shit just really came like when I heard the project, like everybody else.
Yeah.
I was a fan.
Facts.
So that's one of the things I enjoyed about it is that because not a lot of people do that anymore. They put the whole damn next mixtape out 2 weeks before it's supposed to drop. So that was one thing. Second, the comfortability of it. You know, when you listen to somebody's project, you want to listen to somebody with some flavor, some respect, some understanding, some
seasoning.
culture. You know, and especially for me being an artist as well, I don't listen to just regular niggas.
Yeah, you got a different ear when you listen.
I want to hear where the balance comes in, and I think the people that you chose to not only work with the project, but the people you work to have the project mixed production wise, it all came together as a flavoring, like a flame.
I got a question for you. So, do you think? Because Good Company was the beginning of 2017. We released at the beginning of 2017. And it took us a year to come out with that pressure. And like you said, like F.A.M.E said, it all started with us just, you know, making a decision like, no, we're about to get back on the schedule as far as being in the studio, doing some work. We got all these beats in the archive that we done bought over the last year or so. And it was a you know, a spontaneous decision. But we were so excited, like any other artist, you know, which is another lesson that artists have to learn. You can't just reveal everything, and you got to keep the mystique.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Like, so, but we're still learning that lesson that we instantly start talking about that pressure. Once we knew, me and him gave that one look, and we had that mutual, you know, ding, 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 you know, it was like, you know, we couldn't stop talking about it. So it's been talked about for a year also.
Facts.
Do you think it was an effective way of promoting a project, or do you think maybe
Quietness of it
we
and the way that y'all did
the
it
quiet?
yourselves?
But no, I'm also saying like we've talked about that pressure
the
for a
thing,
year.
no, nobody-
we backed
nobody
up from
paid
it once
attention.
we were
I
actually
think it
ready.
day after-
collectively shows
Listen
now.
to
you know,
the
what
day
you're saying.
before the album came out on March 11th, right? I got a Facebook memory from March 10th, and I had shared the album cover. No, I shared a piece of artwork somebody did for it, but it said that pressure, okay? And it got like 7 likes. You feel me? It just kind of got brushed by, like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, and I think it's because like we came with a name, we had a title and everything, we had no music to go with it, we had no video, so it really like so many people pump fake. Can we cuss?
Yeah.
So many motherfuckers pump fake.
Bitches.
You know what I'm
Good to
saying?
know.
Like,
That's good to know. Last couple interviews we did was like you guys
Really
can't
couldn't
cut.
cuss.
No, I'm here.
Yeah.
but motherfuckers pump fake and they'll put out album work or they'll put out
We
something.
can cuss out this bitch.
And they be like, you know what I'm saying, this on the way, or this come, we got an album, this album coming, and then it don't never happen. Or like, it's
Did
just
everybody share the
underwhelming.
live too?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
No, but to get a spit of what I want to say about what you just was saying, I don't think people was expecting what they were about to hear. That's for sure. Because,
Musically, sonically, yeah.
definitely. I mean,
And I think
gotta remember
something.
what-
I think something else that I wanted to say too, to kind of to hone in on it, and something that Cincinnati seems to forget is the scheduling aspect. And that's why I want to give big shout out to Donuts and Alcohol and DBLCIN with what they do, with Donuts and Alcohol, because I know
Right,
one
right.
of their big staples is they'll record a full season
And you-
and then
Yeah,
schedule it out.
yeah,
right?
that's a different approach.
So it's like I think that is something in the city that needs to change, because I'll work with artists, they'll get all excited about my vision and what I'm trying to bring to the table,
Right.
and then they'll kind of get confused with the game plan, because this isn't a game plan for 2 weeks. This is a game plan for the next 10 years.
I'm wondering if because I was thinking that same exact thing because I watched season 1 because out of nowhere the footage was available for season 1.
Yeah.
And so I got to binge watch it. You know what I mean? I'm wondering if it'll all be available or are they gonna schedule release it all?
I honestly think, and it's funny that you say that because
I love it too. I'm a
the
fan.
Donut's situation is pretty dope as well. But like how y'all is,
We're on season 2, so you guys can stay
if you
tuned. So
can, and I'm on season 3. But like if they do it like that,
they start shooting season 3.
No,
they're about to be shooting.
That would have surprised. They're on it.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
one thing. Shouts
Out to Aaron. Shouts out to Stevie.
Well, I was about to say, it just takes time to really put out a certain product. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it
So-
comes down to the difference between managing people from an artist perspective or from a business perspective.
Yeah.
And there are no emotions in business, so yeah, we've got some great footage, but for you to just put out immediately, it's not going to take the same effect.
Yeah, but back to y'all.
Very true though. No, hold on though, because if I was like, we just did a show. We had the listening party and stuff. It's like so many people, so many like media outlets and cameras and stuff. I'm like, where are these pictures? I'm seeing no pictures of me. I'm like, somebody's probably holding on to those gems. You're right. Timing is everything. That's something you can hold on to it, and it'll be a sense of nostalgia. Whenever it drops.
Nah, and back to what I was saying about the project. I mean, y'all guys know how important Good Company was to not only y'all but the city.
Right.
Y'all put the city on your back on that one. And the reason why it was so important was because not only was it just y'all two, but it was the team.
Yeah.
Wiz, JB, y'all.
Yeah, and that's what I
That
wanted
was
to
like
get the
the
core of,
last. That was the.
And
not
that may
the
be a
demise.
sticky subject, though.
The
Is
demise
that a
of our.
sticky subject, like
What?
the team side of the crew?
The height of the
Because
group
that's
at
what
the
I
time.
brought up, and you guys are like, oh no, we don't have no crew.
I'm
you know?
somebody.
He's really
like,
emotional about.
I'm
it. He's
getting
a
the 4-1.
Gemini.
Hey,
No,
this
so
is.
am I.
Hey,
That's
let's
why week every time
let's
we
get
talk about this.
controversial.
This
Let's get controversial.
is how I
You know
am
what
though.
I'm saying?
This is how I am though. Like everybody that knows me and Phonz, if you've known me and Phonz, as we've been brothers and friends.
Which I don't.
But if you have,
Yeah.
you know that this is what we do. This is what we've always done since we was 15 years old in high school. We've made music together. We've tried. We've sold CDs in high school to all our friends and everybody there.
Yeah, this ain't
We
our
went to
first
Kinko's
rodeo.
and made copies of our own stuff. We rode bikes down there. And we've been doing this. So if you come into our circle and you tell me that you grinding for this and you want to go get it, and then you turn your back because shit got slow, or you turn your back because we got in one argument, or you want to jump ship because of that, I'm
That's
not
emotions.
nice.
It sounds like a
I'm
bunch
the one
of
that's
emotions,
always like, fuck
right?
'em.
Yeah. Okay. Because that's the perspective.
There must be something in the water.
Okay, now let me give my perspective. Now let me give my perspective because it's important because I feel just like that. I feel like that immediately, but like I'm the opposite. I'm a Libra. Like I have a screen to where it'd be like, okay, well I can't show this emotion, and I gotta like not even think about this, so I can move this type of way, and da 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 da. So like I don't really. I kind of foresaw all of that happen. I knew it was gonna be people that come in. I know it's gonna be people that leave. I know it's gonna be some turmoil. You can't get around turmoil.
But it's still family though.
It's family, and also I got those same emotions. So it's like I feel that way because obviously those are people. These are people that it became family. Whether it was already family, and there was everything was we was all on one accord to whether you became family, like
and we can pull back a little bit, and I can ask that, was having that type of living situation pushing you into the music business, or when would you say that you started taking music seriously?
No,
was it that event or was it the catalyst?
No. That was all after we made the decision. The decision musically, like as far as this was the field that we were committed
when
to.
did you guys start taking music seriously?
18. Like, well, 15, no, it was 15.
Yeah.
We recorded
so
that.
Bring me there.
We recorded an album as freshmen in high school. We recorded the album. Our mom gave us money. We did whatever we had to do to get money.
Where did you guys
We
go?
recorded at the studio that Zarnock recorded at. That was the first studio we ever recorded at. And then we went down and recorded the second half of the album down at this place called Lighthouse.
What was the name of the album?
This is all
Cincinnati's finest. Cincinnati CFC was the crew.
We had a crew.
And it was the same mode. We had a crew.
We had a crew. We
was the head.
We had a squad, and like we ran it. You know what I'm saying? It was a 3-letter gang. You know what I'm saying? But like the depth of that at 15 though, bruh, I'm telling you, like the way I met Phonz, like this is my adopted brother. You feel me? But that's through the stripes of life. But when we met, I had just moved back to Ohio, and I was going to school. And my first day of school, they asking me like, so what you do? And I had just started rapping in Georgia, and I had just started playing basketball in Georgia. So I'm like, I play ball and I rap. I was like, anybody here make music? They was like, yeah, you should go holler at Joe. All my life, the end of the day,
and I am
day,
Joe,
and he's Joe. The end of the day,
they be sleeping on Joe.
The girl that I was shadowing, she knew where his locker was and told me where his locker was. I went to his locker. He happened to be there, and I was like, hey, what's up, bro? My name Tyler. I just moved back up here, man. I do music. Everybody said you do music. We should make a song. He was like, hell yeah, we should do that, bro. I took his number down to my little bum ass cell phone I had 2005.
Sure.
You
the
feel
brick.
Me? That weekend, our mothers took us to the studio where Zarnock and them recorded, and we recorded our first song. Took it to school the following Monday with the speakers and went into the gymnasium and played that shit out loud for everybody.
We at our school, like a lot of the
Sycamore?
kids. Yeah, we play basketball.
Wow.
Yeah, Sycamore. That's why the people don't understand
Trevor,
the impact and the bold, the strength of this
one
shit.
of College Beats' owners actually went to Sycamore himself. Trevor.
Yeah.
2012.
2012.
Do you know Joaquin and Joves? Yeah, they're my baby brothers.
So you know JB and them.
JB, yeah, that's okay, yeah.
Uli and shit.
So you mentioned
Willie and Chris.
Gang, little bros, all the little bros.
So you mentioned Georgia. So like, where are you from?
Too, to say that
I'm from Cincinnati. I spent a lot of my childhood in Madisonville. I played for the Madisonville Tigers. I went to Trinity Baptist Church. That's you know what I'm saying. I lived in Bond Hill when I was younger. We stayed in Montgomery, Sharonville. I'm from Cincinnati. I'm from Ohio, bro. I'm from Cincinnati though. Like, I'm from everywhere in Cincinnati. Like you can name an area I've lived there probably at some point. You feel me? But I moved to Georgia.
But yeah, we did that at Sycamore. Yeah. And like, you know what I mean? Like, and like I've been like, I'm not a political activist or nothing like that at all, and I don't even do conscious music no more. But I always mention gentrification. I'll be saying that we're products of gentrification because we are. 20 years ago is when this process started. Is when they started offering, subsidizing homes out in the suburbs of the city. Lebanon, Lakota schools. You know what I mean? Like, you got to think about it. Like, around the time where, we're the minority, where I'm probably the only black person in my class, or, you know what I mean?
Close to it.
Yeah, or close to it, like all the way through high school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But, like, doing it out there, it kind of gave us the edge to. It gave us the ability to feel how it was to have people watching you, like kind of have. I don't like to call people our fans because most of the time if you rock with our music, you can pull up and smoke with us, kick it with us, laugh with us. We don't really do all that like over the top shit. But like in high school, we also danced. In the pep rallies.
It was everything about the performing arts for me.
In front of 2,000 kids at pep rallies, like 2,000 kids, we dancing. So like we not stage fright. We don't have no stage fright. So they all look at us like we the superstars of the school already. So that gave us kind of the feel to move.
Yeah, like so when I say we're like the products of gentrification, or like we were the only black kids in our class, I'm not saying that as like a super negative or super like sad sob story. I'm saying that as like
gentrification just has a negative connotation to it. Yeah,
I mean, but I don't know why. Like that's a whole other conversation. But
I know why. You know why too. But yeah, I know.
Yeah, but like like. It was like a great thing. We're trying to let people know it was a great thing, and like, it just hits home for us because I'm from the inner city, my family from the inner city. I'm from what they talk about. I am Cincinnati, like you know what I mean, like. And it's just crazy to think that the people that are my parents' age, are like, they're like in the 40, approaching 40 and stuff like that. They were just so blind to everything that we had to bring to the table. They were just so, everything we had to bring to the table was so left field. But it's like, fast forward to like present day, like their kids are going to those schools or, like now they're understanding. Now it's more obvious. Now it's more like now everybody wants to talk about gentrification. But you weren't thinking about when the process started. That whole process takes 10, 20, 30 years. So it's like, we those kids that was growing up and that was living through it, and it wasn't all the way negative. Like like I was the go-to guy. I did all the pep rallies at the school. I did, dance and theater. I got pulled for, I like skipped out on basketball for a season. Well, the beginning half of the season because they like made a huge deal about me being like choreographing for like a musical. I did like Footloose. I choreographed for Footloose. They wanted like a hip hop edge or whatever.
Nice.
So like,
and to bring Li back, get us back to the present again too. Like, talking about this album, talking about Li's album a little bit too. Li will have his own podcast here soon in the next couple of weeks, but just to kind of let Li speak on.
I can't forget Thursdays.
Did you have anything on your mind?
No, man. I mean, the project itself was such a phenomenal project. I think everybody should know that off the rip. I think a lot of people don't guess that you guys can do what y'all been doing the last 8-10 years. Yeah. I like I said, I watched y'all with white shirts tearing up buildings.
We always been different, man.
You know
Even like
y'all bring that out. A lot of people too. And I think the culture that you presume to have. Like I'm talking about when you walk in the building, people see it.
And feel it. I'm hoping they feel it.
They enjoy the experience, especially if people don't know you. Yeah. They find out what you guys are capable of in and out with just music. Yeah. And then like to see it grow into these projects that y'all made since Good Company and even the songs that y'all did before then, and now this is just kind of like duh. We've been with it. We've been in that pressure. So
appreciate that, brother.
I just appreciate watching the growth. That's why even the album I made was the way it was because it's all about growing.
Right now, I love the word growth because I think that this is the most fluid project that we put together, and I think that it does show a lot of growth, sonically, musically.
Growth in the beginning stages of their career, like literally everybody. You out?
Yeah.
Okay then. All right, Ella.
Yeah, easy, brother. That pressure, and don't forget the tour.
Appreciate y'all.